Hey guys, my name is Theo Koulianos. I'm a part of this ESS family. Today I have the privilege of being with our founder, Mr. Theo Baliris, and we are continuing to go through our values. Last week we discussed passion, the week prior to that, integrity, and we will continue to work through all of our values, hopefully giving you an opportunity to get to know the heart and the why behind what we do here at ESS Academy. Now, before we get started, it's important that we keep the vision and the mission in front of us at all times. The vision here at ESS is to be the nation's trusted resource for executive protection, security services, and world-class training. We accomplish this through our mission by consistently educating our clients on effective solutions, providing the highest level of training and world-class service. Today, we're going to be discussing responsibility. Responsibility, according to ESS, is do what you say, be accountable to your coworkers, clients, and yourself. Mr. Baliris, would you mind diving into responsibility?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I think as we get deeper into these core values, you're going to begin to notice that to accomplish one, the others become necessary,
they all
right?
overlap.
Yeah, they overlap. And so you couldn't be responsible without being integrous, could you? No. And so you're going to kind of see that as we go through. And so I think for responsibility, the biggest thing for me is having the understanding that my actions, my behavior, my work product, etc., affect more than just me.
Yes.
Right? And so when I do something good, the whole team experiences the fruit of that.
Yeah.
But when I do something bad, the whole team
experiences
and is affected of that consequence. And so that is actually very important to us because that's also going to bring in things like honor, loyalty,
right,
all those things. Because if I truly care about my team, my company, my coworkers, their families, the ones that are depending on this, and so then I hold myself accountable to my actions, right? And so before I do something that might be crossing a line, I'm thinking about who's this going to affect.
Yeah.
Right? Not just myself, but countless others. You know, I remember talking to the old director of security for the New York Yankees, Mr. Bill Navarra. He was actually the one that brought us in and gave us the contract with the Yankees back in the day. But he had told me a story of how they had a security company there before us. I don't know it was the one right before us, but at some point before us. And on a particular day, this one employee, I believe was on break or whatever, decides they're going to sit down on the curb in front of the stadium, untuck their work shirt, and smoke a cigarette. All right. 364 days out of the year, that probably would have been okay, right? Mm-hmm. Because the chances of what I'm about to tell you almost never happen, right? But that's what complacency is about. And so on this day, when this person sits there, untucks the work shirt, smokes a cigarette, and that's the first thing you see as you're approaching the stadium, well, who comes walking by?
I know where this is going.
Bill Navarra with the owner of the Yankees, Mr. George Steinbrenner.
Wow.
And it was this simple. Mr. Steinbrenner looks to Bill and says, "Who is that?" "Oh, that's an employee of so-and-so. Fire him." "Okay, I'll make sure he or she..." No. Fire the company.
Wow.
On that day, that company lost their contract.
Wow.
Because of the actions of one person, which means anywhere from 30 to 50 people
lost their job
that day.
Wow.
Yeah. Because one person had a little lapse in judgment, right?
Wow.
And so that's this industry, especially when you start talking about protecting things and especially people. The tolerance for, that type of behavior is very minimal, unlike any other industry where you might get away with some things here and there.
So then you got to think of that too, potentially 30 families.
Affected.
Kids.
Yeah.
Wives, husbands.
Which is my greatest concern.
And you don't think about that.
No, most people don't. And we bring that when we have to bring somebody in to talk to them, because we're always going to try and teach you.
Sure, of course.
You know, we're not just going to get rid of you, but
Yeah.
we're going to try and teach you as long as we can before we have a responsibility to not allow you to be the thing that causes
Yeah.
people. We have a responsibility to the rest
Sure.
of our team. And so, but we're going to bring you in, we're going to talk to you. And one of the things we talked to you about is that, hey, it's not just the 3 or 4 or 20 or 30 or 50 people that work that site. Jake says something, I wish I could remember it, but I'm going to paraphrase it. Okay, and it's a great thing. Basically, he says to them is, don't worry about what you're going to tell us right now. Think about what you're going to tell their children.
Wow.
That's what he tells them to think about. Now, obviously,
Wow.
they're not going to have...
No, of course.
But that's what he wants them to focus on is...
You need to.
What are you going to tell, not even the wife, but what will be the explanation to their children?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's how far this thing goes.
Wow.
So often we're late. Not a big deal. Could be.
Could be a big deal.
That person didn't think it was going to be a big deal to smoke that cigarette
Just
that day either.
untuck his shirt and smoke a cigarette. Yeah. For a few minutes.
Yep.
I don't even think I need to expound more. I think you kind of get the idea behind that. It's very important for you to understand that these values are here to not only protect you, but to protect the livelihood of others. And I think this was a sobering example for us to understand that every moment matters, every contract matters. Every second and every minute of every day, it all matters. And somebody's life is being affected by it in a positive and or a negative way. And so when you do your job, you do it right, you do it adhering to these values, you're not only helping your family, but you're helping other families provide for their families and their children. And then the opposite would play into picture as well. When you decide to live selfishly, kind of just going through the motions, that laziness, that behavior can not only affect your life, your family, but someone else's. It's really important that we live by these values. We love you guys very much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.